What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ground Up. We're coming to you from the Level Wellness Studio inside our B2 Suites penthouse here in Brentwood, Tennessee, the show where we turn pain into pivot and where there aren't failures, only lessons. I'm here with Roy Mangrum.
Hi, guys.
I'm Terry Bargy, and we have a special guest straight from WNSR, our good
NSR.
buddy.
NSR.
WNSR, that's what I said.
No, take off the W.
It's just NSR?
No, it's WNSR.
Okay, well, we're W silent.
Listen, Roy.
National Sports Radio. Come on. He just said it.
And News Channel 5, by the way. You got to give a shout
Channel
out to the mothership.
You already got me before we pressed record, so now I'm heightened. And anyway, we're here with Jon Burton. Nice round of applause.
It's the Jon Burton.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me, man. You know I love you guys to death. And I got to apologize to you, Terry.
What for?
For the last 2 years, I've been saying your last name wrong.
Oh, well, I didn't correct you. So.
I know.
Terry's not even sure he's been saying it right.
He's not wrong.
No, it's great to be here with you guys, man. You know I love what you guys do. I'm big admirers of what you guys do, not only for fitness in Middle Tennessee, but for all of us in the fitness industry. You know, the fact that you guys want to bring everybody together and kind of share ideas and stuff like that so we can all, A, be successful, but B, help people live their best lives. So I'm honored to be here.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel like we're going to be sitting in broadcast school with you. So
Yeah, we got some cool
there's
stuff
one
coming up.
professional in the room.
there's one professional in the room,
Hi, everybody.
and he's sitting on the couch. So go easy on us.
Absolutely, man. Let's have some fun. Let's get into it.
We've enjoyed being on your show.
Yes.
We've enjoyed the back and forth. I do really I thank you for that, by the way. Like, your support of what we've been doing and trying to do has been super, super helpful. Yeah, so you've come out to the Music City Fit Expo.
Yes.
How many
love it.
times?
2 years.
I've been there
Last 2
the
years?
last 2 years. Had a blast. Thanks to you guys, I got to meet Jay Cutler and obviously Brian Shaw. I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and I got a lot of friends that vend there. Shout out to Danny D Fitness, our girl. So it's been great experience.
Yeah, and you've took a shot in the dark and had us on your radio.
Yeah.
For an
And he
hour.
didn't get canceled, so
And he didn't
that's a
get
win.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
That was a lot of fun, by the way.
Oh, love having you guys. You guys
Time flew. on
doors
that show.
always open. Anytime you guys want to come in and just hang out and shoot the breeze. I mean, that's the beauty of what I do at WNSR. Man, it's a sports talk show, but the management there, I got to give them a shout out. They allow me to basically do whatever I want within reason. And so, if I want to come have you guys come in studio, we talk fitness for 2 hours, we can do it. We play the hits, obviously,
Sure.
Titans, Predators,
Yeah.
Vandy, UT, SEC, all that, especially now with football season right around the corner. But, when things slow down a little bit and I get you guys in here and we can pump up something that's so great for this region like the Music City Fit Expo, I'm happy to do it.
No, well, we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Us being able to do what we do is in large part because of your help with that. So we do appreciate it. Speaking of football,
Yes.
it is it's summertime, it's training camp time.
Yep.
I know you've been out there. Give us the Titans lowdown.
Well, it all comes about, it's all about the development of Cam Ward, right? They drafted this
He
guy.
is the truth.
Yeah, I think he can be. He's the guy they drafted first overall in the draft. I mean, unfortunately, you had to have a bad year to have the number one overall draft pick.
Mhm.
You had to have a bad year before. But look, they're doing their best, and they're hoping this guy can be their franchise quarterback. Been out to practice, and, he's a rookie quarterback, so you're going to see some good, some not so good. But what I like about him is he has a confidence about him, and he has an ability to shake off and just move on to the next play, whether it was a good play or a bad play. And so nothing seems to faze him. He seems very focused and confident. He's all about ball. You hear the stories about him and bringing the other receivers in at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch film during the spring. And I'm sure he's probably still doing that now. So, he's out there. He's learning. He's trying to get it down. And, Brian Callahan, the head coach, has had a good reputation of working with young quarterbacks. I mean, he's largely responsible for developing Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and we all know how good he
Worked
is.
good, didn't it?
He's not bad, as we say. And so, the hope is that Cam can come in and learn, and the idea of this season is to try to be productive and
Right.
try to get some wins. and at the same time develop this young quarterback for the future. So we'll see how it goes. It's early, but I'm really, really looking forward to the preseason game, seeing him get out there where, I know we don't like to use this term, but when the live bullets are flying around, to see how he responds.
Yeah,
next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yep, next Thursday.
Yep. Preseason game number 1. It's
go.
Football's coming, y'all.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm super stoked to see how he does with our former offensive coordinator because I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm from Ohio. Which brings me to a question. You're from Buffalo.
A little about 3 hours east of there.
But you spent
I did live in Buffalo, I covered the Bills.
Buffalo Bills fan or no?
No, New York Giants fan. It's just one of those things where I'm from like smack dab in the middle of New York State.
Okay.
So if you go a little west, it's Bills. You go a little east, it's Giants, and nobody cheers for the Jets because they stink. But wound up being a Giants fan. But as you said, I lived in Buffalo. I covered the Bills. I actually got to be good friends with guys like Bruce Smith and Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed. Unfortunately, I got there after their Super Bowl run when they were just trying to figure things out. But yeah, it was a great time there. So I got a lot last year because the Giants had such a bad year. I actually adopted the Buffalo Bills as my team. Now, obviously, I always want to see the Titans do well because I live in Nashville. I cover them, and it's great for the city when the local team does well. It's a lot more fun. But I don't necessarily have a rooting interest either way in the Titans. I just cover them. I just do my job. I call balls and strikes as best I can. But I was so distraught because the Giants were so bad last year. I was like, I need a team to root for. And so I latched onto the Buffalo Bills because I actually did, to your point, I grew up closer to Buffalo than I did New York City. Just so happens I became a Giants fan.
Yeah, well, you got 3 teams to pick from. It's not really that fair.
Yeah.
All right. Got any hot takes? Any Titans hot takes that you have not shared on any other broadcast that you want to dump on us?
A little concerned about the secondary.
Okay.
They've got, L'Jarius Sneed, the fact that he hasn't been able to practice, and he's really been out since the middle of last year with this quad injury, and you're not getting a whole lot of information as to whether or not he's going to be available. He's on the PUP list right now. As far as I know, there's no timetable for him to come back. So I'm a little concerned there because they're going to have some young guys in that secondary, which it could take a while for them to mesh. Yeah. And then offensively, we all know it's about the offensive line, right? Mm-hmm. I think they'll be better, but Lloyd Cushenberry is the guy, the center. He's the guy that has to make everything go and get everybody on the same page on an offensive line. He's starting camp on the PUP list. We don't know when he's going to be back because, he ripped his Achilles last year, and this is a big, strong, 300-pound guy with a lower body injury, and you guys know it. You don't know how that's going to heal. So those are 2 significant losses that this team has right now. Not in camp, not practicing, not getting the reps. That has me a little bit concerned. So, and then the other one, obviously, is Brian Callahan. What does he have to do this year to keep his job? Mm-hmm. Is it a matter of wins? Is it a matter of how they look? He's definitely on the hot seat. There's no question about it. And we like Brian. I like Brian personally. I don't know him that well personally, but I like what I know of him. Yeah. And I think he's a good coach. But he's up against it this year because you got to do enough to keep your job while you're probably most likely going to be starting a rookie quarterback. And we all know, as we said earlier, there are going to be growing pains. There are going to be ups and downs. So what does this have to look like for Amy Adams-Strunk, Chad Brinker, and Mike Borgonzi, Chad Brinker, the president of football operations, Mike Borgonzi, the first-year GM. What does this have to look like at the end of December for them to decide, okay, yeah, let's bring Callahan back another year? Because if you move on from Callahan, that puts Cam Ward in a really bad spot. Mm-hmm. Because now you have a new head coach coming in, new offensive coordinator, and he's got to learn all new plays, all new nomenclature, all new everything in year 2, and that could stunt his growth a little bit because we saw it with Marcus Mariota. Yep. We saw it with Jake Locker. Mm-hmm. As a Giants fan, I saw it with Daniel Jones. You got to have that continuity when you're bringing in and bringing up a young quarterback. So the Callahan watch will be something to keep an eye on this year.
I want to hear your opinion on this too because I know you like football also, Roy, but I want to know what happened to developing quarterbacks under a veteran quarterback. Like, where'd that go?
Yeah.
Didn't we used to do that? Like,
you guys remember when
6 or 7 years
ago? Yeah,
ago?
when we grew up. I remember when I first started watching football, late 70s, early 80s. You draft a quarterback, he doesn't even see the field for 5 years.
I know. It's like forever.
You keep
He's just hanging out back
at
there.
least 3, probably 5, right? But a couple of things, right? And Roy, I want to get your take on this too, because offenses now in college football are much more pro style.
Absolutely.
So these kids come in a lot more ready to play the pro style of football.
Mm-hmm.
And just the patience is just worn thin with these organizations. You want to win now.
That's the bottom line.
Our owner here in Nashville,
There
Amy
it
Adams Strunk, she's kind of known to have a bit of an itchy trigger finger. She doesn't have, or at least it appears, she doesn't have a lot of patience. And so, these guys got to get these kids in here, got to get them up to speed, and you got to get out there and win now. I mean, because when you see a season like when I covered Ben Roethlisberger's rookie season in Pittsburgh, they go 15-1 and go to the AFC Championship game. Look at what Washington did last year with Jane Daniels. Got to the NFC Championship game. That's what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't always work that way. You got to catch lightning in a bottle, but that's what everybody wants. And so the margin of error and the development time has shortened significantly from when we all started watching ball, for sure.
Yeah, it's the world we live in. It's just less patience.
Mm-hmm.
Instant gratification. Mm-hmm. Oh, he did it in college. There should be no difference. No, that's not the case. It's apples to oranges from NFL to college. Yeah, even an elite college team. You bring that quarterback up. Well, it's not the same. He can throw it as great as he wants. Somebody's got to catch it. I mean, that's how it works.
You're right.
Somebody's got to block him.
You got to have guys up front protecting him.
Yeah.
And,
if he's got 2 seconds to throw the ball, probably ain't going to work. He's got to have somebody's got to block for him to read the field, go to his progressions, find the guy that's open, throw it, hope to God he catches it. I mean, that's just, I hate it for these kids because it is very difficult to ramp up that quick, but it's the world we live in.
It's the microwave society we live in.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it was that college was now a little more advanced, like in the sense of like you're coming out more ready.
Yep. You see these spread offenses, and a lot of these quarterbacks. Remember Johnny Manziel when he was at Texas A&M? Like the offense he ran, you guys know this. It was basically 1, maybe 2 reads, nothing there, take off and run.
Yeah.
Spread formation, look, nothing there, take off and run.
Yep.
So, and he did a good job of it, won the Heisman Trophy, won a lot of games. They beat Alabama, all that kind of stuff. But now you get to the pros, everything.
You can't do that.
It takes you a half an hour just to call the play.
Yeah.
What did John Gruden always say? Spider, 2 jet, Y banana, X cross. You know what I mean?
I was about to. The Y
You're
banana
from Ohio,
is my
you know
favorite.
about Gruden, right? Yes. I'll tell you what, man.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. This guy is serious about his football, man. You know what I mean?
Y banana.
Spider 2 jet, Y banana, X cross, Z, whatever.
I love his
you know what I mean?
unboxing videos. Oh my God. I sit and watch them all day on TikTok.
You know what? I know Gruden got in a lot of trouble a couple of years ago, but the NFL needs him. He's got to be back in some capacity.
I read a story. He's working his way back. You see, I'll coach anything. I'll coach elementary. I'm making a comeback. I'm doing whatever it takes.
Yeah,
he's making a mint with Barstool.
Oh my gosh,
he's doing just fine.
Yeah. We're not going to have a benefit dinner for John Gruden.
No,
Coach, if you're listening, come see us here in Nashville.
Yeah, for sure.
Come sit on the green couch.
Exactly. Yeah, come hang out.
We'll happily have you. Hey, we want to get into a little bit more of your origin story and your humble beginnings.
Oh, yes.
But we're going to do that right after this quick break. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. I don't know how we made it back from that segment, commercial segment, because we were having a load of fun off camera. Turns out John's really good at impressions.
Yeah, he's really good at impressions.
I got to give a shout out to the great Kevin Ingram, legendary morning sports talk show host here in Nashville for many years on 104.5 The Zone. That guy, his impressions are scary. Like if you ever get Kevin Ingram on the show, you got to have him do his Philip Fulmer.
Okay.
Former Tennessee coach.
God.
Oh, my God. You put the letters up on the stadium, the good times up there in Rocky Top, and they're big and they're multiple. I mean, he had me on the floor one day.
Oh, gosh.
That's amazing.
Shout out to Kevin Ingram, my guy.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, I want to go back and let's go back in time.
Yes.
Let's talk about Little John.
Yes, Lil Jon.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
That's one of my many nicknames, by the
different
way.
one? Okay.
Lil Jon, Johnny
different Lil Jon.
Nashville, Johnny Swinger, Johnny Rockets.
I would like to
love
know
them
what's
all.
in,
Johnny
I would
Drama.
like to know what's in your coffee. 'Cause
Just coffee.
You
Just
came in
coffee.
this morning just batting 100.
It's
I
third-
actually got a
third
good
cup.
I actually got a good night's sleep last night
Yeah.
for once. So yeah, I went to a nice dinner with some friends and then got a good night's sleep. So I'm shot out of a cannon today.
Yeah, I
man.
like it.
I
There
love
we
being
go.
here with you
I'm
guys.
feeding off of you two over here. I'm trying to stay alive. Well, take us back,
Yeah.
John. At what point? I know you spent a little bit of time playing some football,
Mhm.
did some rugby, which I want to
Played
get
rugby
into.
for 19 years.
Yeah, and then a short stint as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
So how did we? Before all of that,
Mhm.
how did we get what got you into broadcasting? What was your inspiration?
Great question. Yeah, born and raised in upstate New York, and then once you get that athletic buzz in you, right? I was watching sports. For you kids out there, no internet, no YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I had to actually sit down and watch a game, and I couldn't tape it because VCRs weren't invented back then. But I found that not only did I like watching the games, for the competition, but I also liked hearing the men and women describe the action. So I would actually be out in the driveway shooting baskets, or I would take a football and just go out in my backyard. We grew up in the sticks, upstate New York, so I had plenty of space.
Mm-hmm.
I would just take a football and just throw it to myself, and I would commentate while I was
that's
doing
cool.
it. You know what I mean?
I love it.
And I just had a love of both things, right? Same deal. I played high school football, a little basketball, a little tennis, whatever. Jack of all trades, master of none. And to be honest with you, when I was later on in high school, my junior year, up until about halfway through my junior year, I thought I was going to follow my father's footsteps and join the United States Air Force. He was an Air Force man, and I was born on an Air Force base in Rome, New York, actually, where they had Woodstock 99. They burnt my city to the ground. If you go back and watch that.
I have
Have you
sure
watched
did.
a Netflix doc on that?
Oh, yeah.
My poor city. Yeah. Anyway, but there was a program when I was in junior high school called the Jerris program, where you had to put on like these presentations and you had to do research and you had to deliver it on camera, and you had to press these buttons with these still pictures of the person you're talking about or whatever. And I started doing really well in that. And one day I was talking to my mom, and mom always knows best. She said, "Well, you realize what you need to do." I was like, "Well, what? What do you mean?" She's like, "Journalism, dummy." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." So I started any opportunity I could get to speak in front of people. Like I joined the speech and debate club my junior year, gave presentations. And then my senior year, I decided to not play basketball, but all my friends were on the team. So I ended up being the PA announcer for the
Okay.
games,
Yeah.
for the home games my senior year, which was great because I'm watching all my best friends play, and I get to call the game. And we had a pretty good year that
That's
year and
cool.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So, and I started getting more confident, and I decided, all right, I think I'm going to study broadcasting. And I went to a small junior college in upstate New York, about a half hour from where I grew up, Herkimer County Community College. Go Generals.
Let's go.
And I
love
studied
it.
radio and television broadcasting there, got my 2-year degree. And I said, well, this college thing's kind of fun. I think I want to continue this and get my bachelor's. So I transferred to Plattsburgh State University College. Go Cardinals. Way up in upstate New York, right off of Lake Champlain. You want to talk cold.
I bet.
But they had a really good Division III hockey team. So I was like the rinkside reporter for the hockey games for the college TV station. And I started thinking, man, I can do this. And I get out of school, and there was the CBS. It was kind of weird where I grew up because we had one CBS affiliate, two NBC and 2 ABC affiliates, because one was the Utica Rome market, the other one was Syracuse,
Okay.
because I grew up less than an hour from Syracuse. And my favorite station was always the CBS station in Syracuse, and they were owned by the Meredith Corporation.
Mhm.
And my last 2 years of school was paid for because this is kind of funny because they had a Meredith Corporation Minorities Who Study Broadcasting Scholarship. I applied for it and got it because I was probably the only one in my area that met all that criteria. And they're like, here you go. So I got my last 2 years of school paid for. So I just sent the general manager just a letter saying, hey, I'm a 2-time recipient of the Meredith Minority Scholarship. Just wanted to, show you my tape, and any advice you could give me, that'd be great. So I'm looking for a job that summer, and I was about to take a job at like a summer camp for special needs kids. A friend of mine was going to hook me up. I was going to go away to camp and just do that for the summer and, see where it lies. On the day I was about to call the person in charge and tell them, yeah, I'll take the job when you want me to start, the general manager of Channel 5 in Syracuse calls me. And he says, got your letter, got your tape. I think you have some potential. Don't have anything full-time for you right now, but how would you like to come in and be a part-time sports producer? I'm like, I would like that very much.
Yes, please.
So I came in five days a week. I worked from 6 to 11. I worked at Mickey D's during the day, and then I'd come home, take a shower, eat dinner, and I would drive out to Syracuse, and I was the sports producer. I cut tape. I went out, got interviews. I got everything ready for the sportscaster that night to help him with his sportscast. It was Brian McGorman, and it was Dan Horde, who's the voice of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, a dear friend of mine. Shout out Dan. I mean, big influence in my career. So one day, I steadily got better, and any on-air chance that I had to do, I did pretty well at. Walked into work one day, and people started congratulating me. I'm like, what's this all about? And they were like, hey, congratulations. I'm like, for what? And somebody said to me, he said, well, there's a memo out right now. You should probably read it. I'm like, okay. They said, we're proud to announce that Brian McGorman is going to news. Dan Horde is now the Monday through Friday sports director, and Jon Burton is the weekend sports anchor. I was like, what? I was 8 months out of college, guys.
No way.
That's so cool.
It was one the universe provided.
That's
now,
awesome.
It was, but I wasn't ready. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes on and off the air. Just had to learn how to be a professional, Yeah. But they were so patient with me that they put up with whatever crap I was giving them. And I slowly but surely got better, moved on to Buffalo a few years later. Then I was in Pittsburgh for 11 and a half years, doing TV and then eventually radio. And I had an opportunity to come here, and here I am. So
that's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Like, you just took a shot in the dark, sent a tape and a letter, and
so why not?
I love that.
You know what? I was so green, I forgot to sign the letter. And the human resources lady that called me and she said, dear, you seem like a really nice young man. You have to remember to sign your letters.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, sorry about that, ma'am. But, listen, a lot of ups and downs throughout my career. I left the business twice, once on my own because I pursued an opportunity to work in the front office of an arena football team. Didn't work out. Got back in, got laid off in 2008 when the economy went bad.
Oh, yeah.
I was out of work for 13 months, and then that's when I got into radio. And then I decided I want to get back into television. So I hired an agent, and he told me, hey, there's an opening down in Nashville. You should check it out. And I'd been on a bunch of interviews. So I was like, well, you know what? Just the experience. I'll go down there and interview. Just, go down to Nashville for a day and, just have the experience. I thought nothing of it. And it went well. And, the next day agent calls. He's like, well, you're going to have to make a decision now because they're drawing up a contract offer for you at News Channel 5. And you have to decide if you're going to leave Pittsburgh and go to Nashville. I was like, good. And
smart decision.
I did, yes. I've 13 years here. It's been incredible. The city's been great to me. The place I work has been phenomenal. I mean, I couldn't ask for better. I'm living the dream. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
That's great, man. I love it. And I know you've covered some really cool, different events. Obviously, the biggest of your career is the Expo. What is your? Tell us what it's like. You covered a Super Bowl, right?
I've covered 3 Super Bowls. I've covered the NHL Stanley Cup final. I've covered the NBA playoffs. I've covered a Major League Baseball All-Star game back in 2006 in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I've covered big time college football and basketball games. I covered the Final Four a long time ago. Covering a Super Bowl is crazy because
I can imagine.
you get there usually Sunday or Monday, right, of that week.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly grinding and working and working and working and working. You're grabbing interviews, you're turning stuff around, you're presenting, you're working. And you get to the point, usually around Thursday, where you think the game is never going to get here.
Yeah.
It is the longest week of your life. But it's fun, it's intense, it's not, it's just the buzz around any Super Bowl when you go to the media events is incredible. And then by game day, you just got to wait and see what the outcome is and how you're going to tell the story of the game. That's not going to say the easy part, but easier part. But the week leading up to it is a grind. I mean, it's fun, but it's funny because I covered Super Bowl 40 in Detroit. First Super Bowl I get to cover. No disrespect to Detroit, but you'd rather be in New Orleans that time of year, Miami. Right. And I just remember doing live shots in 13-degree weather in Detroit, Michigan, and people are texting me like, "This is so cool. You're probably out partying every night with the players. You're having a time." I'm like, no, I'm not, man. I am barely making it to my hotel room and eating dinner and falling asleep. So, but you remind yourself how lucky you are. Like, people would trade places with you in a heartbeat. So, yeah, Super Bowls are fun. They're intense, but it's a lot of work, bro.
Would you say that's your top experience out of your career, or?
I would actually say the best experience I've ever had, my favorite experience, was the 2006 All-Star Game. It was at PNC Park, Major League Baseball All-Star Game. It was at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Hadn't been too long, opened up. And it was just the buzz during batting practice. I'm a Yankee fan. I got a picture with Derek Jeter. I got to meet him. And, just watching all the celebrities walk around. I got to interview Alyssa Milano.
No way.
There you go.
That was cool. And there were just all kinds of celebs running around. And to me, that was fun. The Super Bowls were great, but I don't know, something about that 2006 All-Star Game experience, those 3 days was incredible. Home run derby the night before, then the game and all that. It was great.
That's cool.
Sound like a little more relaxed, too, than your Super Bowl experience.
Yeah.
Good grief. You got any, speaking of Super Bowl, you got any Super Bowl predictions for this year? Another hot take with Jon Burton. Let's go.
Well, I mean, listen.
It's going to get soundbited and shared everywhere.
That's fine.
Be careful.
I know, I'm going to get aggregated, right? I got to see somebody beat the Chiefs in the AFC before I believe they're not going to go back to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
For real.
So, that's kind of – and NFC, I think, is wide open. I think San Francisco could have a bounce-back year. Philadelphia, obviously, is going to be a strong favorite, the defending Super Bowl champs, which makes me want to throw up because I'm a Giants fan and I can't stand them. But I want to see how Detroit does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Kansas City versus – you know what? I'm going to say Kansas City versus Detroit in the Super Bowl.
And hot take.
And Detroit and Detroit wins.
Whoa.
How about
that? Is
that?
A hot take.
That's even a hotter take.
I'd love that, actually.
I do too.
Scorching hot.
I think everybody's still ready to see the Chiefs get taken down again.
Yeah. Yeah, they've become now what the Patriots were just a few years ago.
Right.
The team that always wins, the quarterback that always gets the calls.
Right. And I didn't have a problem with that because they really weren't in our division for the Bengals, but I got a problem with the Chiefs because they're in our division and there's that whole back and forth of who's the best, and this, that, and the other. It's like that stuff just gets so old to me. Let's just talk football.
Yeah.
We'll just talk football.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to go. I want to get into some more of your story and maybe some future stuff. And after this quick break, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm here with Jon Burton, as Terry Bargy, Roy Mangrum, and we off camera we're just planning a celebrity boxing match,
Celebrity
wrestling match between these two guys. So get us there. Like, I didn't realize that you were actually steeped in wrestling so much.
Yeah, I had no idea till a couple minutes ago.
Here's what's funny. So like, I started when I was like 16, and I had 1 year that was technically full time.
Yeah.
doing like the loops and stuff. I do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mhm.
Then I ended up getting out. I was in my 20s, early 20s. So mid 26, so mid 20s. Anyway, so the video I was showing you.
Yeah, look good, by the way, man.
We were doing a photo shoot for Camille for our clothing line.
Mhm.
And we knew those guys, but they had no idea.
Shout out Camille and Tom Latimer, two wonderful people.
Awesome people. And he was talking to the photographer. He's like, hey, man, you want me to show you how to take a bump? And he's showing the photographer. It's terrible. And he's like, Roy, do you want me to show you how? I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice.
Not knowing.
Yeah.
So I get up there. I hadn't been in the ring in 20 years.
Yeah.
So I get up there. He's like, well, let me show you how to, like, we'll hit the ropes and stuff. And I kind of watch him. And I just, dude, when I hit the ropes, I hit the ropes. Like when I hit the ring, the corner, I move in the ring. I go into it as hard as I can. He's like, oh, okay. And then we start doing that. And if the volume's up, he looks at her and goes, he can go.
You can go, man.
He didn't know. So when we filmed, we did the photo shoot.
First magazine,
for the first magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So we met Billy Corgan. That's
right.
He was there because we did in the NWA ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to get me in the ring. I was like, no, I'm not going to get up here and take a bump in the studio. And he got Terry to get up there.
I took a bump and it was terrible.
Yeah, bumping is a moral decision.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Bumping is a lot like tackling in rugby or football. It's a moral decision. You either do it or you don't.
If you fight it, it's way worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just gotta, because it's such an unnatural act, right,
Absolutely.
Terry? Yeah.
Meeting Billy Corgan was fun. He leans over and introduces himself. Hi, I'm William. That's like, okay. Nice try, pal.
Yeah.
I'm William.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Yeah. No, you're not. You're Billy.
You're Billy.
You will always be Billy. So how did you get into wrestling?
It's funny because I didn't have my first match till I was 38. I'm 55 now. So it was going to be a one-time thing. And if those who follow the WWE, Corey Graves, the announcer,
yep.
He's a dear friend of mine. He's from Pittsburgh. I happened to meet him out one night, and he was still working the independents, hadn't been signed by WWE yet. And his dad, him and his family owned a small independent wrestling company in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is a little less than an hour north of Pittsburgh. And they said, I was working at Channel 4 at the time, celebrity, whatever. And so they said, come on out and be our guest ring announcer. And then we had an idea because there's a radio personality in Pittsburgh, Bubba, good dude, but he's also a trained wrestler, a longtime trained wrestler and a great heel. And the best wrestling stories, right?
Oh, yeah.
Some of the worst start with, what would be cool? ...
Yep.
Stevie Richards talks about this all the time on his show.
Yeah.
Shout out Stevie Richards. And what would be cool? We'll set up an angle with you and Bubba, and you can work him in the ring. You can work a match. I said, that'd be great.
Except I don't know how to work.
Exactly. So out in Plum, Pennsylvania, they had rented out this, Corey's family had rented out this like storage unit, like this big shed that had a ring in it. And they said, come on out, we'll train you. And Corey started training me. I started learning how to bump, how to run the ropes, how to, give and take certain moves. And we were all set, man. We had, I lived in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. We had the Monroeville Sports Complex filled to the gills, me versus Bubba in the main event of the match. And then 2 days before the match, Bubba calls, or he texts me, and he says, I have to have emergency throat surgery. I can't do the match. I mean, the guy's on the radio. He talks for a living. So he's like, I can't do the match. So we had to switch the angle around to where there was another heel that I'd just gotten to know and become friends with. My dear friend, Aaron Albert, who wrestled as Ashton Amherst. And they said, all right, well, we'll set up the angle to where Bubba is not even going to, soil himself with wrestling somebody like me. He sends him in his place. We had the match.
There you go.
I went over, which means I won. It went well, and the reception was good. And then all of a sudden, every independent company in town wanted to book me. So I worked 2 companies simultaneously. one in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. I was babyface Jon Burton, the local celebrity. I'm going to give wrestling a try, and I got the fans behind me. And, I may not be the best wrestler, but I'm going to give it everything I got,
I love it.
And then
the people's champ.
Later on, I worked for, exactly. So that was NWA East, and then I worked at RWA out in West Newton, PA, way out in God's country, and I was a heel. I was big homie Jonathan Burton. I'm from New York. You people from Pittsburgh are beneath me.
Yep.
I hate all you people, and I got a lot of heat. The best heat I got, the week after the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl, which I covered. I came out, we did a show, and I came out to the ring. I wore an Aaron Rodgers jersey and a Green Bay Packer hat.
Oh, dang.
And I get on the mic, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what it is, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. And I cut this scathing heel promo, and I was like, I want to give a shout-out to my dear friend, the best quarterback in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, a man who understands what no means. And everyone's like, boo, boo. Unlike that piece of garbage Ben Roethlisberger, I knew your team was going to show. I mean, they wanted to jump the rails.
Yeah.
I had them going.
Awesome.
And I got to tell you, and Roy will attest to this, being a babyface is cool because you get the sympathy. But being a heel is so much fun.
Oh, man.
Because you don't have to punch, kick, choke, taunt the crowd. It's beautiful.
It's a lot less work.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because when you're the good guy, you got to take all the heat. You got to get beat, then you got to make your comeback, and then you got to make another comeback. But being a bad guy, it's fun.
So much. Once you get that first rush of adrenaline, though, golly.
So long story short, I wrestled for about 6 years, had a great time, met some great people, and a couple of years ago, well, actually now about 4 years ago, I worked for TNA/Impact Wrestling, which is based here in Middle Tennessee.
Yep.
I was their pre-show co-host, so I was on national TV for a stretch, and I got to give a shout out to those folks, man. They treated me great, and I got to meet a lot of wrestlers and a lot of people that I've watched on TV for years, and they're the nicest people you ever want to meet. So great experience.
Cool. Really cool. Okay, we need to clear the air.
Okay.
You need to tell the listeners and viewers what a bump is, because I think traditionally a bump is something different than what we're describing here.
Right.
So what is a bump?
Oh,
Roy, you want to take this one?
It's how you fall.
Okay.
It's taking a fall.
If you can't bump, you can't be a wrestler.
No.
That is the number one thing you got to be able to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what it is you're basically, it's like somebody swiped the rug out from under you, and you don't have time to brace yourself. You're falling backwards. You don't have time to brace yourself with your arms. You got to just land flat on your back, tuck your chin, and make sure you're in a part of the ring where it makes that boom, that big sound. That's the hook right there. It's a very, very unnatural act. And not a lot of people can do it, but if you can't do it, you can't be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Roy can, because he's a big, strong man. He doesn't have to bump if he doesn't want to. He can just punch it, choke.
I love bumping.
But bumping's fun, yeah.
You did better than I did.
When you get like a good ring, like an 18 by 18, 20 by 20, they'll pop for you, and you can just take that big bump. Oh, nothing better. It's so loud. And honestly, the higher, like the bigger the bump, the less, to me, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
Now I hate suplexes off top rope. That does hurt.
And I got power
It's
bomb.
always the tailbone. Yeah.
And a power bomb is not fun. I
don't like those
I had a feud
either.
with this guy named Crusher Hansen. He was about your size, big, strong guy, sweetheart of a guy. But they put me in a feud with him, and it worked because he was the monster heel and I was the athletic baby face. And he goes, it's before the show, and he says, all right, we're going to teach you how to take a power bomb. I'm like, we are? And he got me up, and he went, boom, and I was like, that's when you get the guy, that's when you get the guy up like this, and you just basically just whack him onto the mat.
Jeez.
And, I took it, and I kind of took inventory. I laid there because we were practicing. He said, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I think so. He goes, good, let's take another one.
As long as you tuck your chin, you're fine.
Your chin,
if you don't tuck your chin, then you're concussed.
You might go night-night.
Yep. It could be over. But a lot of fun, man. So, I don't know, man. Me and you may have to get in the ring, big guy.
We'll do it.
Make it do what it do.
Yeah. We can do it.
Stay tuned as the
that's right.
As the saga unfolds. There's gonna be some trash talking happening.
Oh yeah.
And I'm here for it. It's gonna be great. We'll work on the scripts later.
What are you talking about? It's real, Terry.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
No
Sorry.
scripts, Terry.
Sorry.
It's real to me, darn it.
Sorry.
I just tell people all the time. It's so funny. To this day, people still ask, well, is it real? I'm like, it's as real as you want it to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's art.
Right, Roy?
Perception.
A fault. That Matt, you can't fake it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, that did hurt when I fell. So that was real. Where did rugby fall in here?
Picked it up junior year of college. You know, was obviously an ex-high school football player, and I transferred to Plattsburgh State. And, you know, I knew that they had a rugby club. It wasn't like NCAA approved. It was like intercollegiate club.
Yeah.
And I said, why not? You know, go try. I got in great shape that summer because I was working construction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was particularly hot that summer. So I was working 10 hours a day for a concrete company, you know, hauling concrete blocks. So I'd do that for 10 hours, and then I'd go home, take a shower, have dinner, and then me and my friends would go work out for 2 hours. So I was
jacked.
I was jacked, and we had to go up like 2 flights of stairs with the blocks. So that really put a lot of emphasis on my calf. So I got super fast that summer, and I went and tried out. And I said, well, give it a shot. And I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I ended up playing. So I started playing when I was 20. I played till I was 39.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
I played in Syracuse where I lived, Buffalo where I lived, and Pittsburgh where I lived. I played club rugby, and I loved it. Met so many dear friends of mine, man. And I like football is, put it to you that like this, right? Football was always my wife. Rugby was my girlfriend.
Yeah. There you go.
Football is always going to be there, but I always knew that the rugby thing was going to be a fling. You know?
Yeah.
I love the.
I hope people don't take that the wrong way. I'm not trying to encourage any, you know.
I mean, it is
whatever.
What it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. I love the unique the unique approach to training.
Yeah.
Construction.
Yeah.
Hey, if you
It was
can't
basically
get, if you
metabolic
can't-
conditioning for 10
Yeah.
hours.
If you can't get in shape doing construction, you're not getting in shape.
No, you're not.
Because the guys there used to pick on me because these guys, I was 20, these guys were probably in their mid to late 30s, and they, you know, they'd been doing it for so long that, you know, they didn't need to work out.
Right.
You know, and so they would pick on me and be like, oh, you got those little popcorn muscles. He's like, you got to get some working muscles there, man. And, you know, I mean, I got leaner, faster, stronger that summer. That was the best shape probably I've ever been in. So
Yeah. That is,
that's my first foray into metabolic conditioning, which is a huge part of what I do now.
that's how I got, that's what I attribute to my grip strength. And I'll put that in air quotes because it's not what it used to be. But I competitive rock climbed, did Ninja Warrior stuff, got into calisthenics and gymnastics rings and things like that. But I was all from freaking turning a wrench or swinging a hammer. Sure. I grew up in the trades.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you get a chance to meet my dad. He was at the expo rolling around on the golf cart. But
Yeah, great guy.
his man paws, like he's still doing construction.
Is he really?
He's like doing he's a handyman, but his hands and forearms, I'm like, looks like freaking Popeye.
And that's all all natural stuff, man. That's all functional
manual labor.
functional strength. So I try to get a lot of that in my training. Sometimes I'll just go crazy and get the tire out, get a big old sledgehammer and start hitting that puppy and, you know, dragging the sled and stuff like that. It's fun. I mean, if you have to do cardio, that's the way to do it.
Make it fun.
In my opinion.
Might as well be productive at the same time.
Right, exactly.
As opposed to watching it TV or just
Walking on the treadmill, watching Sports Center.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing at Planet Fitness. I'm like, where's the one with the sports? Where's the TV with the sports on it?
Well, just be careful at Planet Fitness. You don't want to let it, you know, set off that lunk alarm. So
yeah, well, there's a couple of rules at Planet Fitness that get avoided. Yesterday, I looked over my shoulder. And I'm like, did I just see what I think I saw? There was a lady. She's probably 10 years younger than me, 45 years old, full pajamas on the elliptical. Like,
Okay.
Pajama shorts, the button-up pajama shirt. I'm like, I don't know if I
have many
how
questions.
I feel. I've got feelings.
I have many questions.
But she's here.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the way, hey, she's in there getting her work done, but it's like,
would 2 extra minutes of putting something else on?
right,
You know,
I mean, a pair of
really
shorts and a
slowed you down.
t-shirt.
like is that where the motivation ends? Is when you're like, I want to put these tennis shoes on. Nope. If I do that, I will not. I will stay sat down.
So when you say full pajamas, was she wearing like the fuzzy slippers?
I could not see her feet.
See,
She's probably wearing Crocs.
You should have
I'll
walked
bet you
over
she was
there
wearing
just
Crocs.
to check.
Probably wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
Hey, more power to her. You know, she's in there doing
At
something.
least she's doing something.
And that's kind of Planet Fitness's thing. Hey, just come in here and do something. Which,
Yeah, just come here and get moving.
Yeah, which is good, but
you'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Just watch people.
Do you really have to, serve them donuts and pizza slices?
They stopped doing that.
Oh, I was going to say.
I think they stopped doing that after COVID, and probably after getting ridiculed for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's a lot to watch at Planet Fitness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So we got one more quick break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to talk a little bit about broadcasting and any tips that you want to share with us amateurs, obviously, and then with anybody out there who's looking to get into the biz.
Absolutely.
So we'll do that right after this quick break. I don't know how we've gotten this far on this show with John, because we're making way too many jokes off camera. John, we appreciate the time we've had with you. We've got a little bit of time left. Last segment here. And I do want to get into anything that you can share with, I was joking with these two amateurs. When it comes to broadcasting, there's a lot of podcasters out there, that are listening to the show. There are a lot of, there's a lot of ones that we know. There's a bunch on our network. Give us a little bit of the difference. What's it like from TV to radio to podcasting, and what advice would you share?
Oh, great question. Obviously TV, right? I'm a journalist, right? I gather the information, I filter it out in a broadcast form, and I present it. And, it's up to you to decide, how you take in that information, right? I'm not offering any opinions. I'm not editorializing at all. It's strictly, I'm calling balls and strikes. Hey, went to Titans practice today. Here's what Brian Callahan said. Here's what Cam Ward said, right? Radio is a lot different because I can give my opinions about what I see, we have some fun, let my hair down a little bit, and just kind of, I can be as serious or as goofy as I want to be, which is great. It's a lot more freedom in radio. I give my opinions, but I always try to make sure that whatever opinions I give, I keep it between the lines. I don't get personal. I'm not a coach killer. On my show, I'm not calling for anybody to get fired or benched or anything like that. But if a coach makes a decision I don't agree with, I can say it on the radio. If a player does something that, if he messed up the game, well, here, in my opinion, here's what happened, right? So in podcasting, you have even more of a free ride. You can really go wherever you want. You can be opinionated, you can be fact-based, you can be whatever you want to do. So the key for all of it is time on task, right? I was not the best radio show host. My background's in TV. I can stand up in front of a camera, read a teleprompter. I feel very comfortable in front of a camera. Radio's a little different because, there's nobody around. You're just talking into a microphone, in a studio with maybe one or two other people. So I had to get used to that. I'm still in the process of getting used to it. I've been doing radio a long time, but I feel like I'm finally starting to get my comfortability and just sitting in a studio and just letting it fly. So best piece of advice is time on task.
Yeah.
Decide which lane you want to do. Do you want to be fact-based? Do you want to be opinion-based? Do you want to be a little bit of both? So establish that first, and then, there's so many opportunities now. You can start a podcast and get your first episode up in about a half an hour now.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
So get yourself a YouTube page. There are great software out there right now that you can do it, and just keep doing it. It'll be a little awkward at first, but you'll get used to it. It's all time on task, and just believe in what you want to talk about, because if you believe in what you want to talk about, the audience and or the viewers are going to believe in it too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And above all else, which is why I love being on this show with you guys, just be yourself.
Yep.
You guys right now are exactly the way you guys are off camera. And that's what I love about you guys. You guys are just regular dudes, and
like it or not.
Exactly.
I was going to say what we are on camera.
Like it or love it, it's like in wrestling, right? Love me or hate me, but just let me know how you feel.
Yeah,
don't ignore me.
As long as I get a reaction, it doesn't matter what it is.
Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be, Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's got the number one podcast in the world, the greatest podcast probably of all time, but he's Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
He's not trying to be somebody else. And so that's the best advice. Be yourself. Whatever your personality is, maybe just turn the volume up just a hair, but be yourself. Present yourself the way you would if I saw you in the street or saw you at a restaurant or saw you in the gym.
Do you have any tips about like the interviews that you do? Like, is there because I think that's great advice. Like, pick a lane, right? Yeah. Figure out who you are. Like, what's your on camera, on mic brand? Right. What are you producing? Which is a great piece of. I'll take that advice right now. That's great. What about interviews? Like, is there a recipe or is there a formula that you use when you're doing interviews?
Just be prepared.
Yeah.
When you're having an interview subject coming in, do your homework, do your research, and do that, and ask questions in a way where it allows the subject to really bring the content out. In other words, like you did a perfect job at the early day. You're like, I understand you were a rugby player. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You were a professional wrestler for a while. Wow, that's crazy. So how did you get into that? And then just let them go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because it makes the interview subject feel comfortable. Like, wow, this person really knows a little bit about me. Well, I'm glad you asked that, Terry. Here's what had happened. You don't have to be overbearing in the questions. You don't have to ask the gotcha questions unless you want to.
Right.
I mean, if that's something you want to do, But I've always believed in just letting the interview subject carry the weight of the interview. I'm just here to be a filter.
Yep.
Right? I'm a filter between that. So when I'm covering the Titans, right, I'm in the locker room talking to players, I'm the filter between the fans and the team. So some guys get it, some don't. Some people think, oh, you're just being nosy, you're just being, you're trying to, evoke me into do something. No, it's fans want to know. And so I'm asking on behalf of the fans. So whatever you tell me is what you're telling your fan base, not me. So I try to ask questions in a way where I can get the interview subject to just kind of open up and just go with it wherever they want to go.
Yeah. And
I don't try to be leading or, like I said, do gotcha stuff. That's just not my style. But if it is your style, do it and commit to it.
Yeah, because
it's going to
need commitment,
and be ready for pushback, because there's going to be pushback. You got to be able to handle it. You got to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, you're asking the hot questions. All right, two things before we close it out all the way. Pivot. Was there a pivot in your life? Like, was there I'll put it in air quotes, a failure that created some sort of pivot that sticks out in your mind that was a good lesson that you'd like to share?
Yeah, 100%. It was I was 28 years old. It was 1998. My mother had passed away, and I was doing the broadcasting thing, sportscasting. I was Syracuse to Buffalo, and I just didn't feel like my career was going where I wanted it to go. I wasn't making the kind of money or having the kind of success. And it takes a long time in broadcasting. It really does. You have to build, and you have to be patient. And I got a little impatient, and I left. And I took a job, I think I said earlier, for that arena football team, because I was thinking, wow, if I do this, I was the head of PR for this expansion arena football league team that came to Buffalo. I was like, if that goes well, maybe I could be a front office guy somewhere, maybe be a co-owner. And, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, it didn't work out. And so I had to really take that long journey to get back into broadcasting, because it's one of those weird businesses where once you get out, it's really hard to get back in, because the people that are in charge of hiring, they have trust issues. Are you a flight risk? Who's to say you're not going to get, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I had to crawl. And I mean, I went through a period of about 2 years where I had to take whatever jobs I could. I worked at a gym. I worked overnights at a shipping company. I had to crawl and really scratch my way back into the business. And fortunately, my former boss in Buffalo was working in Pittsburgh. I randomly called him one day and he said, I've got 2 openings in my sports department. I was like, he goes, you want to come to Pittsburgh? I said, yes. And I barely made it there because there was all kinds of stuff going on.
Dang.
You know, but I got there and I was able to kind of wipe the slate clean and start over again. Yeah. And the first few years were rough, but once I got into my groove, I was right back to where I was. And so that was a big life lesson for me, because I fell down for a while, but I always knew in the back of my mind, I'll get up. I remember sitting in my apartment in Buffalo in the dark because they were about to turn my lights off, and I was unemployed. I didn't have much money, and I was sitting there like, wow. I kind of laughed. I said, where am I going to be in 2 years? I'm like, I'll be all right. Yeah. So just know that it's never quite as bad as it seems. It's never quite as good as it seems, but just be ready. I love the phrase, you know, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Always just be prepared. Yeah. And so it was a big life lesson, but I'm glad I came out the other side, because not a lot of people would have.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Not putting myself over saying I'm great, but
it's true.
It's all up here, man. It's like I got a rap single coming out, by the way.
What?
Yeah. And one of the lyrics that I did in my freestyle, I always talk about my favorite line. I just wrote some freestyle lyrics, and I posted it on my birthday, and one of the lyric I like the most, how's it goes? I never underestimate the power of the mind. I'm walking down the righteous path. I seek and I shall find. And that's kind of what fuels me. That's what gets me out of bed every morning. Yeah. Shout out to my man, Timothy Chance. We did a record together.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's going to be out in October. So
that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's a dream come true, man. Yeah. I don't know how good it's going to do, but at least I can go to my grave saying, hey,
you did it.
That's inspiring. Yeah, that's inspiring, because I've thought many times, like, no, I'm 45 years old. I'm too old to be in a band.
No, you're not.
That's like, man, I
really
want to play drums.
I'm 55 years old. I'm on a rap record.
As long as you're on this side of the dirt, there's time.
There's always time. There's always time.
Well, you're leaning right to where we need to go. Let's give everybody where they can find you. Tell them where they can pick up that record. Tell them you're training too. Tell them where they can train with you. Give us all your call to actions here.
Oh, appreciate that. All right, let's start with social media. You can follow me on Instagram at Jon Burton 32, Jon, no H, the number 32. You can just hit me up, DM me if you got any questions about fitness. I am a certified personal trainer. I train folks out in the Bellevue area. Shout out to CrossFit West Nashville. They let me rent the place out. Beautiful facility, state of the art. Whatever you need, come see me. I'll get you in great shape. Yeah, I got the single coming out with Timothy Chance and DJ Connect coming out in October. I'll keep you posted on that. You can, of course, catch me on News Channel 5 Wednesday through Sunday doing the Sportscast, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio, 560 AM, 95.9 FM. Got a brand new show coming out in a couple of weeks with my new partner. Looking forward to that. Sports Talks, 9 to 11 every morning, Central Time Zone. So looking forward to that. And whatever else I can do. Maybe some pro wrestling again. Who knows? Why not, right? Like you said, Roy, as long as I'm on this side of the dirt, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels come off.
That's right. I've still got my Trace knee pads.
Got my, just trying to bring a little swag. Got my hater blockers on today.
Yep. I love it. Oh, hey, we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This is great.
It was a professional relationship that has turned into a friendship. So we really appreciate you. We appreciate what you've done.
And I can't wait to get you guys back on WNSR. Yeah. We're gonna have some fun with that as well, and good things coming up, man. And like I said, I just like the way you guys go about your business in terms of, hey, we can all be involved. We can all help each other and help this city, this region, get fit and enjoy life. And that's what it's all about, man.
That means a lot. Thanks. Roy, you got any last words? Nope. That's per usual.
I'll see you in the ring, big guy.
Let me tell you something.
Oh man,
John sitting over there with his fancy glasses.
I love this. This is my favorite. Guys, we appreciate you checking out Ground Up. And if you liked and you got any value of anything you heard here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us a follow and share it with your friends. We really appreciate you. On behalf of the NFM Podcast Network, Spread the Positive, Roy Mangrum, Terry Bargy, Jon Burton, and Ezra Bargy sitting behind the ones and twos. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.